And today we have a special presentation. I mean, it's basically designing how to design presentations, especially for data scientists. Boris is going to give us a lot of input on that. He is actually a person who just used to be in the database and SQL Server world, but he changed his entire career into presenting, and he founded a company called 356 Labs, and he does creative presentation designs, and he does speak in a lot of conferences like Ignite and other conferences, mainly on the presentation design. So he's going to talk to us about that, and today he's going to talk to us from a place which is a little bit noisy in the background because of this, because of the traffic. He got stuck there, so he cannot move anywhere else. So please bear with us on the background noise if you hear anything. So, and if you have any questions, please post your questions in the questions chat panel in the bottom. So whenever we have some time, or in between, if the question is relevant to that particular area of topic, we could interrupt him and ask him the questions, right? And that's all I have, and I'm going to switch the presenter to him so that he can start his presentation. And by the way, like if you, and once the virtual chapter meeting is over, then we will post the recording onto the YouTube channel. So anybody who hasn't attended, or if you want to rehash, then you can go back and rehash there. And thank you for attending, and let me put Boris online.
Yeah, I hope you guys can hear me well.
Yes, Boris, I can hear you. So I can see your screen now. And
okay, and you can hear me very well, right?
Yeah, I can hear you very well, and I can see your screen as well.
Okay, guys, so let's fire this up then.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining today. It's quite an honor for me to be back in the, let's say, the SQL community in which I spent so many years. So today, guys, I don't want to lose any time on who I am and what the company is doing. If you want to know more information on that, please let me know. I know that you guys haven't joined for this one. So today I want to talk to you about a problem that I'm seeing all across the world, and the problem is the fact that we are still in the beginning of 2017 almost, we are still thinking about slides as their alternatives of documents. And because of that, we are losing our audience's attention, we are losing our reputation, and we are losing humongous opportunities to win more business. And I'm personally not happy with that one, and I believe you should not be too. So whatever we may talk about presentation design and presentations, I know that you guys have been there, and I know it because I have seen you there. I know that you have fallen asleep or just put your phone outside of your pocket and just started working on something. And I want to share you a very interesting story from here in Bulgaria, which is, as you can imagine, not that big country, and the business is completely not on the level of the one that you have in the US. So I recently went in a very expensive conference here in Bulgaria, like really expensive event, a one-day event, and I went there with a lot of expectations. As you can imagine, when I pay a lot of money, I personally expect a lot, right? I hope that you also expect a lot when you pay a lot of money. However, what happened to this event was that I spent my time on my phone, and what's even worse is, and probably the shocker, is that this was the first time ever I am seeing people here in Bulgaria, so the Bulgarian audience, first time ever I'm seeing audience which paid for the event to leave a room, the conference room, when the first slide of the speaker showed up. Okay, can you just think about that? So they saw a speaker comes on the stage and they see the first slide, and it's that ugly 4x3 blue thing in which whenever the people see it, they just know, you know, they just know that this is going to be bad. And so they left the room. They didn't took their phones out, they left the room. This is serious stuff. People nowadays, our audience nowadays have incredible expectations from us as speakers. And so that's why I want you to understand, and I want to help you here to understand that design really matters. Like we, even though we are coming from the IT field in which we believe that we talk about really complicated things, and we actually do, I agree. This doesn't really matter, that we don't have to try to design good slides. It's just the time has come and the audience just expects us to do that. And so what I want to do here is to give you the algorithm, give you the steps that you need to follow in order to make sure that your slides will be better than 99% of the other speakers out there. And I promise you, if you apply those things, because we are, like our company is doing that, we are mentoring people based on these advices, and I promise you, if you apply those, and if you consider them seriously, you are going to differentiate from the crowd, and your presentations will become dramatically better. So let's fire this up here. Let's go on rule number 1. The first mistake that I'm seeing constantly is speakers, whenever they have to speak at an event or in front of their colleagues, no matter which field you are in the data science, in the database administration, it doesn't really matter, they immediately jump in PowerPoint, like immediately. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that. What you have to do is to go analog first, which means that you have to go and just take notes, sticky notes, a white piece of paper, write on the whiteboard, and just brainstorm your ideas, because what happens otherwise is that you are going into your computer. It really doesn't matter which software you're using, be that Keynote, be that PowerPoint, be that Prezi, be that Sway, be that Google Slides. I really don't care. You just go, and we all just go in our software, and we are stuck in front of the software, because if you think about it, software, PowerPoint is just a tool, and it has boundaries, and it can do a finite amount of things. And whenever we are brainstorming our idea, we don't want any boundaries. We want our imagination, our ideas to just go out in the wild and just brainstorm everything that we can come up with. So my first advice is just take a few sticky notes, go to the whiteboard, go on something like this and brainstorm your ideas. Once you brainstorm your ideas, take a look at every one of them, like each one of them. Like take a look at them and ask yourself really honestly, what is the best way for me to visualize that idea? Is it a GIF? Is it a video? Is it a photo? Is it a text box? Is it a quote? Is it a data chart or bar or pie chart or I don't know what else? What is the most effective way for me to visualize that idea? Write it down, sketch it in some way. You don't have to be Picasso. Just sketch it and then go into PowerPoint. This is the first rule. Please, guys, please brainstorm your ideas in an analog manner and go from there. The second thing that you have to do, and the second, let's call it a step in our algorithm, is the idea of restraint. And this is, now it becomes really hard here. So restraint means that you have to ask yourself and be really honest with yourself. When you create and when you digitalize all of your slides, you have to ask yourself, for every single object, for every single number, for every single chart, for every single line, every single character, every single text box, is that text box, is that photo, is that object adding value to what I'm saying? And this, now it becomes easy. If it's bringing value to what I'm saying, leave it there. Let it be this way. If it doesn't bring value to what you're saying though, remove it. It's binary, 0 or 1, nothing else. There is no answer. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You are the speaker. You have to know. You have to decide. And so please ask yourself, is this object, is this thing adding value to what I'm saying? Let me show you what I mean. So for example, when you work in a corporate environment, and I believe many of you do, you probably have heard that in a corporate environment, people say there cannot be, you cannot have simple slides, right? It's just so complex, there cannot be simple slides. I would have to surprise you, because this is an HP slide back then when I was working at HP. And if you look at it, there is nothing that's not needed on that slide. There is no photo, because if I add a photo, it doesn't bring value to what I'm saying. There is nothing that's not needed. Probably some of you will say, yeah, the logo doesn't bring value, and I would agree, by the way. However, back then, when I thought to my manager that I'm about to remove the logo, I, let's say, went in a bit problematic situation that was kind of risky for my career, and so I left it there. However, if you really know corporate, you know that underneath this data into knowledge thing, there is a text box which is a copyright information. As you can see, I removed it, and I removed it very easily. I just placed a white text box, a white shape, over the copyright information. Why? Because I don't think that the copyright information that brings value to this slide. It just doesn't, and I don't need it in every slide. Another example, just take a look at this one. Nothing that's not needed, nothing that's, I don't have a subtitle, I don't have a fourth image, even though I know how to place an image. There is nothing that's not needed here. There is just nothing. It's everything that I need and nothing more. Slides are very limited in size, and so we cannot make them full of information. Please keep them very, please just apply this principle. Is it adding value? Yes. Leave it. If it doesn't, remove it. Another example. This is from my SQL career. And if you guys work with SQL Server, and if you remember the so-called hackathon tables, this is an explanation of the data page of a hackathon table, right? So if some of you know that this is a very complex topic, however, as you can see, the way I approach it is in a very, very simple way. There is nothing that's not needed here. There is no photo. There is no title. There is nothing that does not bring value to what I'm saying. It's just the most important stuff here. And so I know that we are all presenting very complicated topics, but please think of whether or not everything that you put on your slides is needed or not, because otherwise we are going to continuously see those documents which are not helping us at all, and which are, oh, by the way, repeating what we are actually saying. And if we are going to be designing slides in which we repeat what we are saying, then let's not schedule a meeting at all. The third principle, which is working, or the third step, which is working very closely with the restraint idea, is called simplicity. I want you to start thinking of slides as the small brothers of billboards, right? Imagine a billboard. A billboard is something very big that has a red background and has a big M, yellow M in the middle. That's McDonald's. The amount of time it takes you to see that and to understand that it's McDonald's is just a fraction of the second, and you return back your attention back to the road. The same should be with our slides. You have to see the slide, understand it, and return your attention back to the speaker. And so let me show you some examples. This is a simple slide. Again, restraint and simplicity. There is nothing that's not needed here, and the amount of time that it takes you to see that slide and to understand it is just a fraction of the second, and you return back your attention to me as the speaker if I'm in the room, or now you are listening more carefully. Another example. This is a resource slide, like resources with photos and fonts and icons, which we are going to speak about after a second. again, it's just so visual. You see it, you understand it, and you return your attention back to me. Because at the end of the day, whenever there is a presentation out there, it's the speaker who is the important part. In your attention as the audience has to be on the speaker. Same for your audience, of course, obviously. They came to listen to you, to see you, and to hear your opinion. They are not there to read your slides. Remember, there is no way for your audience to read your slides and at the same time listen to you. And if your slides are busy, they are going to prefer to read the slides first, and if you are talking in the same time, that is completely not effective because they are losing you. They are just losing you. Unfortunately, and I'm saying that really with a really personal like note, unfortunately we are not creations. We the humans cannot multitask. I'm really sorry, but yeah. Here is another example. Again, nothing that's not needed, just the simple number explaining what we are talking about, supporting me. You see the number, you return back your attention back to me. Underneath there is a source of the data. Please, you guys work with a lot of data. Please make sure that whenever you are quoting a research or numbers that are not yours, there is a source of that data. Because I can tell you the story of a very experienced senior chief person which came here in Bulgaria and spoke at one of the biggest events. This girl, this woman, not girl but woman, actually was asked on one of her slides. I saw her slide and there was no data source in it. But I'm not the person who is going to ask you problematic questions, let's call it. However, don't forget that there are people who are going to ask you this question: where is this data coming from? And if you answer the way she did, which was it's coming from multiple resources, then you just see and you can feel it. You just see how the trust, her credibility disappears in that moment. And it really doesn't matter whether or not you achieve someone. It just really doesn't matter who you are. Once your credibility is destroyed, you lost the presentation. And so please keep it simple. Make it simple. I know that you probably have heard it. I hope that you are doing it already, but if you are not doing it, please spend the time, because trust me, it's not easy to simplify. It's really not easy to simplify complex subjects, but the people who are willing and who are able to simplify complex subjects like the ones that you do, data analysis and all of that stuff, they are going to win, and they're going to win badly. And so simplicity is very key. This is not simple, guys. Please, this is not simple. Please don't do that. It's 2016. Please don't do that. I know why we are doing this, and I know that we are having all of those slides because at the end of the day, it's quite easy, right? Let's be honest. It's easy. It's easy to just copy paste information and say that your slides are there and your slides are ready. Is it effective though? That's a different story. This thing is not simple slide. How am I supposed to understand what I'm seeing? What are you telling me? Like, where should I start from? What is this data? Why should I care? Like, tell me, explain to me, why should I spend so much time understanding what you are about to say? This is not simple. This is again, as you referring back to the start of the presentation, this is not a slide. This is document copied in a slide and presented as part of an event. This thing, a multi-million project. All of the slides that look like this are actually for a multi-million project presented in front of the CEO of the company. Guess whether or not the CEO was impressed. I'm leaving you here to guess. I know that you now know the answer. This is simple. Please spend the time and think how you can simplify everything that you present, all of your slides and the way you speak, because I know that we all speak about very complex subjects. I know that for us it's very easy to use the terminology, the acronyms, and everything that we know very well and that we use on an everyday basis. However, again, the people who are willing and the people who succeed in simplifying complex subjects, those are the people who are going to succeed. Trust me. Just trust me on this one, please. The next step that you have to think about is the images. Probably you have heard that images are important. They are. The problem is how we are using it. By the way, a quick note, a quick message here. Please, if you are still designing presentations in a 4x3 size, like those square presentations, please immediately go and convert all of your presentations to 16:9. Please, it's 2017. Everything that we do is high definition. Everything is a widescreen, and the first association our audience has when they see a 4x3 slide is, okay, this will be bad. So very easy tip, just go and convert all of your presentations to 16:9. It's the way we live right now, and people expect to see widescreen even in the world of presentations. Back on the images. The images, you can write down, or actually don't write it down. I will send it to the community guys, and they will send it to you later on. I'll send you a doc in which I will send you. You have at least 12 to 15 websites which are, remember, completely free for you to use with very high quality images. I will send those to you because I don't want you to find an excuse to say that there are no high quality images for free. You will have them after this session, okay? So once you have them, please don't use them this way. If you have very cool images, don't put them in a small, like make them smaller and put your text on the left. Don't stretch them because it looks unprofessional. Many people do that. Please don't stretch them. Also, you probably don't want to put them in the center of the slide and kind of rotate your text next to them. That's not that cool solution. And also take a look carefully at this one. Please, whenever you receive the file and whenever you open the file and you see the websites that I'm going to send to you, all of those sites, guys, all of those sites are giving us the great opportunity to download incredible quality photos in very very large resolution. And so please, whenever they give it to you for free, if they allow you to download a 5 megapixel, 8 megapixel photo for free, download it. Just use the top quality photo. Don't use the very small resolutions because the photo is pixelized. And if you now are careful to what's about to happen, spot the difference. Take a look at how this photo is going to change now. I hope that you are seeing the difference. Please, again, all of those photos will be on your computer after a few hours. Please go ahead and use them and enjoy creating great presentations. Now, whenever we talk about photos, I want you to know that I'm also going to send to you all of those photos because in all of those websites, because whenever you download photo from Google or Bing, if you are not filtering your results in the image tab based on the usage rights, because there is a button in the search tools which says usage rights, and by default Google is allowing you to download all photos in the image results, and this is illegal. So that's one more reason why I'm going to send to you all of those resources, because I don't want you to download photos illegally. And what's more, please remember from me that there are those guys that we call photographers, and I'm sure that you guys have friends who are photographers. I also do. They have a reverse engineer search engine in which they can upload their photos and they can see where their photos were used. And if they notice that you haven't paid for that photo, what they do is the following. I will tell you a friend of mine what she's doing. They just screenshot your website or your whatever it is. They just screenshot it, They send you a very short email which says, you know, I saw that you are using my photo without paying me. You don't even now have to put that photo down because I screenshotted it. I have an example and an evidence that you have used it without paying. So we'll see each other on another place. You know which place this is. So once you have those resources, please don't use Google or Bing anymore. You have more than enough photos on dramatically better quality, so please go ahead and use them. The next thing that's really important and that can really affect your slides are fonts. Now some of you may say, okay Boris, but that's cool, but we use those fonts which are in PowerPoint, or we don't have any other fonts. Relax, no worries, I'm on your side. Inside that document that you're going to receive, there are 3 websites with completely free fonts for you. And so you are going to be able to download completely free great fonts for your presentations also. So before you do that, let me give you the basics of what you need to know when you are not designer like me, but you do presentations. There are a few things that are important. The first thing are the types of fonts. We have the so-called serif fonts, which are those fonts which, if you look at them, at the end of every character, there are kind of circles or additional elements to the font itself. Serif fonts are great, however, they're great whenever you want to write something and print it. They help your eye read the next character easily. They are not that great for presentations. The ones that are great for presentations are the so-called sans serif fonts. This type of fonts doesn't have those like additional circles at the end, and so these are the fonts that we need and that we want for our presentations. What are the great type of sans serif fonts then? Here is just a list of them. Don't need to screenshot that. You have a PDF version of that deck also, and you will have them. Some of them that are really impressive. The one that I'm using currently for this deck is Helvetica. The ones that you really want to focus at are Lato and Montserrat. These 2 are just incredible, guys, and they're completely free. Please go ahead and use them, and just copy paste one slide, put your text on one of the slides in Montserrat, put it in Calibri on the other one, and just take a look at the difference. You will be shocked how much better your presentation looks. These are some really, really great fonts, like really great fonts. And whenever you are going to use them, when you download the font, you are going to probably notice that there are the so-called font families, which means that there is one font with a lot of different, let's say, variations of the font. Like you have like Arial normal, like Arial black, Arial extra black. These are the so-called font families. Whenever you design a presentation and you are creating your deck, use the fonts from one family, because this way you are making sure that the look and feel of the presentation will be consistent. This is how it looks when you use font from one family, and this is how it looks when you combine 2 fonts which are not getting together very well. It's not the thing that's going to kill your presentation, but it's a thing that you can easily fix. So if that's the case, I'm asking why not, right? If it's really that easy, why not fixing it? Now, this is an area that I believe you are quite familiar with. If you are going to be showing data, and I believe you are going to be using charts and bars. And I don't want to go deep here, but because you are in the webinar and you are going to soon go back to your work, I just want to make sure that I have covered the basics, because I don't want you guys to say that you have been in a webinar by Boris and now you are designing charts that don't look well. Before I even start, please, I think I don't have to say this to you guys, but I feel like at the same time I really just have to mention it. can we all agree that we are not going to use 3D charts, 3D pies, 3D bar charts, 3D anything? Please don't do that. Please don't just because PowerPoint allows you to do that, let's agree to not do that, because I hope that you know and I hope that you have seen that those can be quite problematic and can leave the audience with very wrong impressions, and they can be used for quite bad things. Now back to the other basics. Let's go to the three very important charts that we have. The first one is the so-called pie chart. It's a very famous chart. I know that there is a kind of a war out there in the data visualization space. Should we use pie charts at all or should we not? Let's not be that fanatic for now. Let's keep it very practical here. Pie charts can be used, and you can use them quite easily whenever, however, whenever you want to show me and whenever you want to show the audience part of the whole, right? At the same time, take a look at this slide. There is nothing that's not needed. There are the data is fake. That's why there is no source. We don't care about the data. It's not real. It's very old stuff. We just care about the visualization. There is nothing that's not needed. There is nothing that does not bring value to the chart. And at the same time, take a look at the title. It's not the mobile operating systems analysis. It's the summary. It's what you are seeing. It's the summary of this chart. It's what exactly this chart is saying. This is one of the places in the data visualization space. This is one of the places in general in the presentation design world where you can use quite freely full sentences, right, to describe what the people are seeing. And then when they look below and see the chart, they see the data itself, and this supports your message. The bar charts. Okay, what's going on? Okay, the bar charts. The bar charts, crazy cool, very important, very useful whenever we want to compare something and whenever we want to focus the audience's attention on one object, let's say. This, again, as you can see from the chart, nothing unneeded. No grid lines, no unneeded titles, nothing that's not needed. Again, the title is what exactly you are seeing. It's not some kind of this is the research on X. This is the summary of what exactly you are seeing. Again, bar charts, whenever you want to compare something and whenever you want to just focus the audience's attention on one object or two objects. And at the end, because you guys know this subject, at the end I just want to feel and I just want to say this, the line chart, whenever we are showing trend, please don't do crazy stuff like part of our customers which are showing trends and which are showing like line charts for almost everything. Like, why is that? Like, why are you showing comparisons of numbers with line charts? Like, that's insanity. And so line charts, whenever we want to see a trend, again, the title is what you are exactly seeing, nothing that's not needed, as really simple as that. Then we go in another topic. In the sixth or the seventh step are the colors. Now, we are not designers here, and so we don't know how to use colors, and we don't know how exactly to combine them. However, there are some few very important and very easy ways for you to know how to use them. The first way to combine colors and to make sure that the colors fit well and work well together is the so-called monochromatic way. You just combine colors and nuances of one color, and this way you make sure that the color combination is right. So for example, if I combine monochromatic colors, it looks like this. Okay? The other way, one of the other ways to combine colors is called the Analogous, or the analog way of combining colors. It's taking the colors from the color wheel which are close to each other, which looks like this. A bit different than the previous one, but again, looks well without us being designers and without us knowing whole psychology behind color combinations and everything like this. Third way, the so-called complementary color combination, which is taking a color from the color wheel and it's taking another one from the opposite side of the color wheel, which looks like this. Right? Not bad, not bad, not bad at all. And probably one of my favorite color combinations, we take one of the nuances of black and just use one other color for accent, and it's called achromatic +1, and it looks like this. And so if you want to know more about colors, write that down, or just go to Google and just type Adobe Color, and you are going to go on a website. It's again, this website will be in that document that you are going to receive. This is a website, a completely free website, in which if you go there and you click on the Explore button, you will find incredible amount of ready pre-created color combinations that you can use right now in PowerPoint or in Keynote, because once you click on one of them on the Edit Copy button, there are 5 buttons that show up during once you hover over a color combination. Click on the Edit Copy button and you will see that if you scroll down, there is a RGB representation of that color. And that RGB code for that color you can use in PowerPoint quite easily. So you don't have to know even the things that you just saw. You just need Adobe Color and you're done. You have the color combinations. Now, another very important thing that I see almost constantly, and I see it even in the big names of the people who speak all across the world, is the so-called principle room to breathe. What this means is that you must not put anything in the corner very close to the end of the slide. You should also not put things in the other angles of the slides, and please don't put a text box very close to the photo. Can you see how close those are? It doesn't look right. Take a look at your phone. Take a look at everything else that's around you. Take a look at the icons of your phone. I assure you that there is white space between those icons, and it's not just a bit of white space, it's a lot of white space. So for example, if you apply that principle and if you take inspiration from your smartphone, it looks like this, right? I can easily move the logos of those companies close to each other. However, that's not how we should be doing this. It's not the way how we should approach our design. Another example, here is another way. Take a look at the circles, take a look at how much space there is between each and every circle, and take a look at the same time how much space there is between every circle and the text underneath it, right? There is space. It's not because I don't know how to put it very close to the circle, I know, but there needs to be space. Every single object needs to breathe. They need to breathe. And this is another example from one of our friends who asked us to mentor him on a SQL Server availability group session. You are going to be shocked if I show you the before and after of this guy. He did a miracle, and it was just by mentoring. We just mentored him and we just gave him the resources that you guys are going to receive. And with a few calls, he transformed his otherwise like typical old style, old school, boring presentation to something that looks like this. And to be honest, as his mentor, I'm quite happy. But take a look at the room to breathe principle. Again, space between the objects, space between the objects. One more interesting one, almost right before the webinar, is where exactly is the center of the slide. Because if you want to center a text and you go and say to the text box, align center and then align in the middle, your text is going to go here, which is the mathematically correct way of displaying your center. However, the problem is that we are not expecting the mathematical center of the slide, we are expecting the visual center of the slide. And the visual center of the slide, now be careful in what's about to change. The visual center of the slide is just a bit higher, like just a bit higher. And so my formula for you is this. Put your text box in the center, align it to the center, align it then in the middle, and then just drag it a bit higher, go in full screen, and if you look at the slide and your eyes are watching exactly at the text, you are in the right position. If you again have to look a bit down, then just go back and drag it a bit higher. That's the way I approach it. There is no formula, it's just the way it is. And so the center, the visual center is here. It's here, it's a bit higher, it's not here. This is not the visual center, even though Microsoft is putting our objects here. Just drag it a bit higher, please, guys. I have spoken with so many people that you, I believe, know that you are going to events and you are seeing them at conferences. They use great slides, they deliver great sessions, and the only problem the only issue they have with their slides is this one. And I told them about this and I asked them, please fix it. It's just such an easy fix. And they're saying, you are not right. Please don't be like those people. Please be open for advices whenever we talk about your career. And please understand that we are making our money with this. We are speaking all across the world about this and people trust us. Companies are paying crazy money to us to design their decks. We are sharing, and I'm at a coffee right now sharing with you all of those things. Please take them and use them. Please, please, please use them. And the last thing that I want to mention here, the last principle, is a very simple one. Design is absolutely everywhere. No one of us here is a designer. I'm not a designer. I just care and I just understand that design matters. And so I'm asking you, if you were here in this webinar in the last like 45 minutes, please explore and please investigate and just look at your normal day. When you wake up and take your phone, take a look at your phone. Take a look at the colors. Take a look at the white space between the icons. Why is that? Why is there a white space? Can we use that in our presentations? Like, do we have to somehow apply it? You already saw how we need to apply it. Take a look at the buildings. Take a look at the architecture when you're outside or when you're on a trip. There are a lot of things that you can learn from. Take a look at the symmetry. All of the objects are symmetrical to each other. They're not aligned in a kind of crazy way, one under the other with no clear alignment. Why is that? Like, why are we doing this? Why are the buildings designed in this way? Can we do something in our presentations? Probably align all of our icons to be on the same like height and width. And also, when you go outside and run, or when you go just outside and put your favorite Nikes or Adidas or whatever you're wearing, I don't know, take a look at those. Take a look at the color combinations. Like, take a look at the shoes. This is Adobe Color. This is the color combinations that we just saw in action. They are just applied in the shoe industry. Why don't we apply this in our presentations? Here are like 10 color combinations that we can use immediately for our slides. Look at those things and just copy paste those ideas. Why not? Who cares? Like, just copy paste the ideas. And every single time when you're outside, and if you are a maniac like me on the subject of Porsche since you were a child, look at those cars. Look at the cars which are the premium cars or even the more normal cars. Take a look at them. Why are they using 2 or 3 colors? Why are there no unneeded things on the body of this color, of this car? Why is that? Why are we combining red and black? Why don't we have pink and like green and blue somewhere? Take a look at everything that surrounds you. I promise you, it will make a big difference. There is a lot of inspiration out there. Please just look around yourself, start noticing it, because it's there and it's free, and you can just copy paste it into your presentations. And no, you don't need to be a designer to have a well designed slides. I am not speaking about a professionally drawn animation or something that's a drawn illustration by hand. I'm just speaking about professionally looking slides, which will make you differentiate yourself immediately, just because it's just crazy. Speakers are still presenting in the same way. So what we cover today are 10 very simple things. The first one is go analog. When you brainstorm a presentation, please, the next time, I know that you don't have the time, I know that you are busy, we are all busy. Whenever you are going to present in front of your team, or it's an important presentation, go analog first. Brainstorm your idea, and once you have all of the ideas, ask yourself, like, what's the most effective way for my audience to visualize this concept for them? What's the best way for them to understand it? Is it a photo? Is it a GIF? Is it a video? Is it a text box? Is it a quote? Is it a chart? And then go and move it to PowerPoint. Restrained. Is this object? Is this character? Is this line? Is this text box? Is this logo adding value to what I'm saying? Yes? Leave it there. No? Remove it. Nothing else to say here. Simplicity. Keep it simple. I know that we are speaking on very hard subjects. Keep it simple. Simplify as much as you can. You are going to be shocked how people and how well the people will react. You are going to completely blow away your audience. Simplify your message. That means that you really understand it, and try simplifying it. You'll see how hard it really is. Images. After a few hours, you have a document from me with 15 amazing completely free websites that you can download incredible photos. All of the photos that you saw during these presentations are from there. Use them and don't stretch them. Use the full quality of the photo, and don't download Google Bing photos, because you can get in trouble. Fonts. You have the links for the fonts. My recommendation again, Montserrat, the font Montserrat, the font Lato, Helvetica. There are a lot of great fonts. You get this deck after a second. You have them. Go experiment. The way you experiment with fonts is copy-paste a similar slide next to each other, change the font on one of them, and see the difference. Chart and graphs, you know the basics now. I know that you probably knew it, but I feel obligated to tell this as part of this webinar. Charts and graphs, keep it simple. The title should be what the people are seeing, not a research on this from 2016. Tell your audience, make one step for them, make their life easier. You are the mentor. You have to move them from one place to the other in the most simple and easy way. Make this step for them, help them to understand even easier. Colors, Adobe Color, you now know about this website, and now you know how to combine colors. Or if you don't remember already, go to Adobe Color, choose a color combination from the pre-created one, enjoy life. Free space, please leave space between your objects. Let them breathe. Where is the center? You now know that it's a bit higher than what PowerPoint says. And again, it's everywhere. Just look around. I'm in a place where if I look around myself right now, I can see just almost like 10 things that I can take inspiration from. Walk around, explore your everyday life, and just start noticing the fact that design is completely everywhere. We are not designers. That doesn't mean that we cannot copy paste some ideas from the outside world and the world that we are living in. And so Thank you guys for being with me. I hope that the sound was okay. Thank you guys for being with me. I hope that this was useful. Please, please, I'm begging you, please go and apply all of the things that you are going to receive. Apply those steps and algorithm to your presentations from now on. Please do it, because if you do so, I promise you, you are going to differentiate, and you are going to go on the next level of your presentation game and career. Thank you guys very much for your attention, and thank you guys very much for your time. Have a great day.
Boris, couple of questions.
Sure, let's go.
Okay. So there, like somebody mentioned, Catherine mentioned about Lato fonts. I
Yes.
think one of the good ones, and somebody mentioned Sego, S-E-G-O-E, Sego.
Yeah,
UI.
Segoe.
Yeah, Segoe.
Yeah.
Segoe.
Yes. What about them?
No, I mean, like they said, like they prefer that font as well. Do you have any experience with that?
Listen. This is very cool that Catherine. By the way, hi. So listen, design is creative subject. Design is art. Everyone has an opinion, and that doesn't mean that people are wrong. Some of you will like Lato. Some of you will like Century Gothic. Some of you will like Segoe UI. Some of you will like Montserrat. That's why I'm saying, and that's why I have written all of them for you. Everyone will like a different one. Just think about how, for example, would you associate the word design? What are you thinking about when you hear the word design? And I promise you that if you write it in the chat, you will see at least 10 different versions of what people think about when they hear about the word design. How are they going to visualize the concept of design? The reason for that is because we are creative creatures. Like, we think in a different way. This is art, and that's why everyone has an opinion. And that's the coolest part of it. That's why everyone will be creating different types of slides, because everyone has his own view of how the slides should look like, and that's perfect. Lato is a great font. Century Gothic is also a great font. Segoe UI is a fantastic font. Go ahead and use them. Don't use Calibri though.
Okay. And another question on centering and aligning in the middle. So
Yeah,
question is from Catherine, and is this based on having the text baseline in the middle instead of having the middle of the text in the middle?
Let's try to repeat that one. Can you repeat that one? I'm not sure I get it. Like,
yeah, is this based on having the text baseline in the middle, or is it based on the middle of the text in the middle?
So,
like, is it like based on the slide itself, or is it based on the text?
It's based on the slide itself, but because the characters go, the upper part of the characters go down, they go like, if you imagine a character, the middle, it puts it in the middle, and the high part of the character is in the middle. And so you have the other part of the character, which is of the symbol, which goes down, which goes lower, and that's why you see it a bit low. That's why you see it and feel like this is not in the center. That's why you have to just drag it a bit higher. Catherine, by the way, if it's not clear, please let me know. You have my contacts.
And that's Catherine Wilhelmsen, so you already know.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And another question is, what is the best way to show code snippets?
What's the best way for?
Yeah, to show the code snippets, like the parts of the code, that, like T-SQL or something like that,
Oh, sure. So if you want to show part of the code, my first advice is to copy paste it natively from the IDE, because when you copy paste it from the IDE, it really looks like it's easy for you to remember that this is code. You associate what you're seeing on the slide with the environment, with the development environment. The second part that's really important here is that you really have to reconsider how much code you can paste on one slide, because again, slides have limited space. Please don't paste like 20 lines of code on your slide. You can paste code on your slide easily, copy paste it in the same style as it is from the IDE, bump it up, make it bigger, because the audience has to see it easily. And if you want to focus the audience's attention on part of the code, think of whether or not you have to animate part of it, like show it on pieces, or make a circle or a square around the important part to focus their attention on. But don't paste like hundreds of lines of code on slides, because I have also seen that, and that's not effective and never will be.
Okay, cool. That's all the questions I have, and
sure.
Thank you, Boris. Thanks for having in this presentation. It's great to have you here. And that's all I have. And signing off from the Data Science Virtual Chapter meeting. This is Damu.
Signing off. Yeah.
Thank you.
Signing off from Bulgaria. Thank you for having me, guys. Bye.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye.